Welcome to a special episode of Come On Amanda. We have gone across town to a place that we know very well but have not seen in quite a while. Yes, it is Bruce's mansion. A lot of time has passed since we last saw him, and life has taken a couple of really positive turns. For one thing, he has fallen in love with and married his gardener Meredith, and together with her they have had their first child, a son named William. Yes, Bruce now has his very own kid, not the kid that he thinks was his for years but really wasn't. So yes, Bruce, you could say his life has been getting more and more complete, because while he had money for all these years, he never really had the things that all people want, you know, to have a caring wife and to have children, and things are going very well. Of course, for Meredith, the gardener, this is quite a shock. Well, not really a shock, but it's a new thing for her, to be propelled from an ordinary gardener to a millionaire's wife in such a short time. She's having a hard time getting used to her new lifestyle, so much so that she still likes to wear her gardening garb, even though she no longer has to, strictly speaking. Yes, but they're enjoying a nice day of relaxation. Yes, Bruce has to take a break from running his empire sometimes, so that they can come out and swim and enjoy their life. Yes, it's a wonderful thing. Very nice that he gets to enjoy himself rather than spend his days in angst. Yes, and they have plenty of fun in any one of their 3 hot tubs. Yes, you know you're rich when you have not just one, but 3 entire hot tubs somewhere in your house. Of course, there's this one, the one on the roof, and the one, well, the one that's in the house. But yes, they've been married for a couple of years now, but they are just like newlyweds, you could say. Yes, Meredith is very smitten with this man who, you know, came up to and talked to her while she was pulling the weeds over the long time that she did it. Of course, he was still technically with Amanda, but that didn't stop him, of course. And now, here they are in the hot tub. And I will be very happy to bring to you something that I can't recall if I've ever shown on any other Sims 2 video. Yes. And what is that, might you ask? Well, must you ask? Yep. Woohoo in the hot tub. Yes. But while Meredith might be completely taken and totally happy with how things are going, there is still uncertainty in Bruce's mind. He is somebody who runs many tracks at once, and while on the one hand he is happy to be married to Meredith, there is still a part of him that is very bitter and resentful over the last several years, where he feels that he was living a lie with Amanda under his roof, not just being disloyal, but claiming that her son was his. For many years, Bruce found himself resenting little George, now that he was not his son. But when Bruce really stopped to think about it, it was not George's fault at all. And he realizes he still had some affection for the boy, because for the first 5 years of George's life, he was more or less the only father figure that he had. So, while not a blood father in any way, they still knew each other to a degree where a special bond was formed. But it's been a very long time, so Bruce decides that it's about time to call George over. Yes, and even though Meredith doesn't have to, she still likes to pull the weeds in the garden, for old time's sake. Now, it hasn't been since George was 5 years old that he was at the mansion. But he's back again, talking to Bruce. And even though he's too young to remember it in great detail, there must still be plenty of memories deep within his mind that come pouring back out when he stands in front and looks at the great hall. The wealth that he was acquainted with so young in his life, but for many years he was disconnected with it. First living in that very small little house, and now living in this medium-sized house, you could say. Yes, and Bruce wants to introduce George to Meredith, his new wife, of course. George remembers Meredith very vaguely from the time that she was still the gardener. But yes, George doesn't really want to stand around and talk, because as a little kid, he's more interested in playing games, so he's going to want to get reacquainted with an old ping pong table that he used to play so many years ago. Yes, I don't know if you can have nostalgia when you're still that young, but I'm pretty sure that he's feeling a similar sort of feeling in this mansion. And Bruce wants to bond with him. Wants to, for some reason, Bruce wants George to still be within his orbit, so to speak. Yes, a man such as Bruce is definitely not one to let things slip away from him. He wants to hold on to any power he has. So, he wants to keep George around, because he never knows what the future will bring. Well, into a dinner that they have, Amanda shows up. Yep, she shows right up, and without even so much as looking at Bruce, she tells George that it's time to come home. And likewise, Bruce does not even look at Amanda. Yes. So, he's ready to turn in for the day. It's been quite an exhausting experience, and Meredith joins him in bed. Yes, she knows that Bruce is still preoccupied with Amanda and with George and all the years that were lost. She knows that he has a hard time setting his mind just on one thing and letting things go. It's gotten him far in his business, but it's held him back in his personal relationships, you could say. Yes, and Meredith wonders why he wants to get so close to George. After all, George has a real father in Norm, and why does Bruce need to interfere? But, Bruce feels like he feels. But Meredith reminds him, no, you have your own son now. You have William. That's where your attention should be focused. And Bruce knows that his wife is correct. So, he tries not to think about it too much. After all, Meredith was much nicer to him than Amanda ever was. I mean, Amanda was nice at first, but he feels that she was really just playing him the entire time. And he just has to be happy with where he is because, well, he has things going quite well for him in just about all aspects of life. So, yep, time for him to move on with things. Yes. And once again in the bed. Yes, and once again exhausted, they sleep the night away. Bruce, as peaceful as a sleep should be, is still quite troubled, still uncertain. And the thought passes through his mind that somehow, some way, that he is going to use whatever means he can to get back at Amanda for all the years that she deceived him.